Good morning, team. Today is Friday, August 26th. Looking at the overall economical calendar, we have PCE numbers coming out around 8:30. We have a whole bunch of core inflation, and Powell even speaks at 10 a.m. this morning. And we have at 5-year inflation expectations. So definitely want to stay tuned today to see what overall is going to happen. Luckily for us, a lot of this information is coming out by 10 o'clock. So we won't have to wait too long after the bell rings to get some final movement with the overall market. So let's see what happens. Today should be very volatile. Let's look at some few charts over here. Looking at overall, we're going to jump over to the SPY. We're going to go over towards the 1 year. See that yesterday we kind of bounced, hit that 1 year EMA line over here. We're even trying to hold above it. Actually, this is not updated yet, but 418 is somewhere right below it right now. So we kind of pulled back a little bit this morning. Got to see what overall is going to happen, especially how the market's going to determine the news that we received this morning, right? So jumping over towards the 180-day, it's no shocker that we did bounce. We've been kind of holding above this 180-day EMA line, showing some type of bullishness. And you could see that we even basically tried to break below it. And then we started to form some type of support above it, right? We've been forming some type of support since the 24th. So you can see we've been holding above it, creating that bullish trend, and we haven't even broken below it yet. So that's going to be a key level that you guys want to watch for possible puts. If we start to break anywhere below 417, we could start dropping down towards 415, maybe even lower. If we jump over towards the 20-day over here, 20-day is crossed down. We do have the 20-day SMA act over here acting as some possible resistance. So definitely want to keep that in mind. So if we start to go for a long position, it's really not too much of a big move you could possibly go for, either from 418.60 to 419, and that 419 is like a wall, right? So you want to wait for that 419.60 to be broken and held before we can start basically pushing up towards 422, which was a previous breakout zone before. So want to watch out to see what overall happens. 20-day is crossed down above divergence. It could go into divergence, causing a bigger low, or we could basically hold this area depending on what is said and how the market takes the news. Next stock we're going to jump over is Tesla. So how do you guys like Tesla's new stock split? Are you getting the same kind of moves that you guys were getting before, especially with it being at a lower price? You can see Tesla went from 300 all the way down towards 292. Nice little sell-off, which is not too uncommon with Tesla. After Tesla has a big news or a big day, it typically sells off. So let's see what happens if it's going to hold these levels over here. But you can see it's below the 20-day SMA as well. So we definitely want to see how we're going to react over here, especially since we have some resistance levels right above it, right? So for a possible pullback, watch for the break of 294. Then we could basically start going down towards these 292 levels over here. If we start to break 292, we could start going to 290. Or if we start to bounce, it's really not much of a huge move we could possibly have. So traders may be cautious around that 297 to 298. Hopefully you get to 300 if you're looking to be long. Right now, the 20-day is crossed down, signaling a bearish move, right? That 20-day MACD is crossed down, that's signaling a bearish move. Not only that, we have two bearish indications over here. We have the 180-day cross down, and we're below that 180-day trade line. So that's two bearish indications right now in Tesla. In order for us to get bullish, we need to hold above that EMA, above that 297 in order for us to push up. But right now, 20-day and 180 days cross down, giving us a bearish indication for a possible pullback. So definitely want to watch to see how Tesla performs today. Next stock we're going to talk about is actually NVIDIA. They missed earnings, and because Jim Cramer was basically bearish on the stock, a lot of investors jump in long. But overall, the stock was very oversold in its defense. And typically when stocks are oversold on the RSI, they tend to bounce. You can see that overall. So let's see what overall happens with NVIDIA today. NVIDIA is below the 20-day SMA over here. Let me move this line so you guys can see it. That blue line right below that 20-day SMA, which is acting as resistance. So we want to see if we're going to break out to the upside. It's a little bit more on the overbought side after its huge run from 163 to 180. So definitely want to watch to see if we break that 180 and start pushing up towards 185 up here. If not, it's a little bit more on the overbought. So watch out for a possible pullback from 177 down towards 175, maybe even getting down towards 173. There's more room for the downside than the upside right now in the video on the 20-day. So it's signaling some type of pullback. So let's see what happens. Let's jump over towards the next stock. All right, next stock we're going to talk about is Peloton, almost down 90% for the year. If we zoom out over here, this was trading at 45 just 6 months ago. And if we go to the yearly chart, it was at 118. So steep downward trend. This is not something you really want to invest into. But we could day trade the overall actions, right? You can see a clear downtrend. You don't want to be the only one thinking this stock is going to go up, right? Unless you got some type of inside information. But looking at overall in the video over here, you can see NVIDIA missed earnings, not NVIDIA, Peloton missed earnings over here. We could basically see it pull back, holding some type of support around 1069, and then we could start basically pulling back down towards 1010, right? And then you can see that we're right below that trade line over here. So in order for us to get bullish over here, we want to see a break above at least 1168. And we can start basically pushing up towards 1267 and possibly higher. Overall, it is getting a little bit more on the oversold side, and it is right above that 180-day SMA. So need to break that level down here around 1060. You can see kind of double bottom over here. So let's see if it's really weak, break that 1060, then we could possibly go lower. And you can see we retested that 997 before in the past. Last but not least on the watch list is going to be Amazon. Looking at Amazon, Amazon had a nice little sell-off for the overall market, started to bounce. Looked like it's finding some type of resistance right below the 20-day SMA over here. Needs to break and hold above 137 before we can start pulling up towards 139. If we do start coming back down, 135 down towards 134, maybe even 132. RSI is a little bit more on the overbought side. 20-day looks like it's crossed down right now. Never know what's going to happen with the overall market. Amazon is persuaded by the overall moves of economical news with the overall SPY and everything like that. So anything can change, but right now it does have a bullish stance on the 180-day. So till it breaks that 180-day trade line, you stay bullish on this one, right? Until it breaks that 136. That 180-day trade line is always going to be like absolute when it comes to like short-term trading. So let's see what happens. Remember, 10 o'clock, Powell speaks, PCE numbers, a lot of information coming out. If you like the video, leave a like for the YouTube algo, leave a comment on what stock you're watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one later.